The APBA Offshore Stars tackle Sarasota, Florida.
Everybody that says Sarasota is smooth doesn't race here every year.
I've been racing here since 1995, and I've never seen it flat.
Sarasota, if anything, you think it's going to be calm, and generally it's a little mixed up out there.
So what is the best strategy for dealing with those wild conditions?
Get a band, get a bunch of people together, throw a party, then we race. It's a strategy we put together. We found that it worked.
APBA Offshore Television presents SPEEDVISION coverage of the APBA's Baja Pro Series. Today is the 17th annual Suncoast Grand Prix from Sarasota, Florida. The fans are ready and the competitors are all set. On Thursday, they had speed runs over a measured kilometer. Records were set in over 7 categories. Many of those competitors you'll be seeing in competition today. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sarasota, Florida. I'm Ralph Shaheen along with Bill Adam as we get set to just about cross over the halfway point of the 2001 APBA Offshore Powerboat season. And, Bill, we're all done with the speed record runs. It's time to concentrate on the actual racing. What are these guys in store for here in Sarasota?
Well, the speed runs are fine. These guys are going to find out how fast their boat will go, but, of course, that doesn't play any part in how quickly it goes through the corners. Now, the value of the runs for them is, of course, it's almost halfway through the season. If they want to win the championship, they have to get serious. They have to have everything perfect. This gives them an extra time to just experiment a little bit.
Well, the straight line stuff is over. Let's show you what the turns are going to look like here in Sarasota.
Well, 13.13 miles. This is the longest course of the year and does present a couple of unusual problems. You see the very long streets, but look up at turn 2. That is about as tight a turn as you could possibly imagine. It's going to make for a lot of varied lines. Do you try and swing wide and carry momentum or tuck on the inside?
Well, the boats are gathering up in the milling area. Let's take a look at our Baja Marine Super Cat Light category and lineups. Now we'll have inboard and outboard racing here. 2 different divisions under the Super Cat Light category. And here's your class description.
These are catamaran boats, minimum length of 30 feet up to a maximum 37.6, twin 502 cubic inch motors. Now, either a Mercruiser 500 or the EFI motors. These are very powerful boats. Will fly down this course today.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
And the first race of the day is underway. This is a Super Cat Light inboards that you're looking at. That's Team TELLIUM, a winner already this year. Garry Heon, the driver, John Kiley, the throttle man, as we go on board the Volvo Pentacamera. Now this is the FLOWMASTER boat.
Oh, I wish I had smaller props. Yep.
Ah, boy, and now there's a moment right off the start of the race. They already feel they have made the wrong choice. On something like this, yes, you go back to experience. You try and base your guesses on what's worked for you in the past, but with changing conditions, you never know until the green flag falls.
That was the FLOWMASTER boat, which is running in the Super Cat Light outboard. We're now watching the Super Cat Light inboard division, which is up front. TELLIUM already pulling away from the pack. Here's the Peppers boat, which was the winners back in Fort Myers, Florida. The Stancomb family out of Indianapolis. Team YAHOO right behind them, giving chase. Now the Factory 2 category will be racing here as well. There's the brand new cigarette. Everybody's been waiting to see this one, Bill.
This will be really interesting. All season long, they've been kind of talking about this new boat being unveiled as we take a look at the other boats in the class. But now it comes right down to how well will this brand new boat work? And, of course, what an awesome test to be out here.
This lineup brought to you by the folks at Cigarette as they're anxiously awaiting to see how that new Team Virgin boat does as well.
V-bottoms, 30 to 39 feet. Again, twin 502 cubic inch motors. Mercruiser HP 500s or the EFI motors. Up to your choice.
Those boats have been making their way through the milling area. Should be coming to the green.
1, green flag, green flag, green flag.
And the Factory 2 division is underway.
Oh, already getting a lot of air right there. You just see on the outside just bouncing some of these big swells that are coming. Look at the distance these boats are carrying when they launch off the tops of the waves. That is a lot of quiet time.
Well, it's quiet while they're in the air as we take a look at our leader here, Pier 57 Utz Quality Foods. But, Bill, when they come back down to the water, it gets a little noisy.
It does indeed. Sometimes the screams of the driver or throttle man overcome any other noise. But the whole thing of experience here is to try and get that boat landing as flat as possible, using the V shape of the hull to cut into the water. That's really where the experience comes in. And look at them running. They're running very, very nicely right here.
Lute Dickey, the driver. Matt Rice, the throttle man.
You can watch how the bow is never really heading towards the sky, nor is it heading down towards the waves. The boat is taking off level and landing level. Perfect conditions right now.
Boy, that boat does look like it is performing flawlessly. Matt Rice, by the way, the throttle man for this boat, is a leukemia survivor. And this team knows that they've been very fortunate, and they're willing to give a little bit back. They take all of their winnings, Bill, and donate them to the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Well, I think without question, Matt certainly has an unusual appreciation of life, and he obviously has an appreciation for other people's problems as well, and this is remarkable generosity.
The first race of the weekend is underway. Make sure you stay with us. Bring out your skim boards. Enjoy us here in Sarasota. SpeedVision coverage of the APBA Offshore Baja Pro Series is brought to you by Baja Marine Corporation. Baja, speed changes you. By Racing Electronics, the official communications provider to the APBA. And by LANIER Harbor Marine, site of the official poker run of APBA Offshore. Welcome back to Sarasota, Florida. We're flying the boats at high speed. This is your leader in the Utz Pier 57 boat. This is the leader of Factory 2. These guys have really got the handling of this boat figured out, Bill. It just flies beautifully.
They really are running such a strong pace right now, and the boat continues to look good, but look at Virgin coming on here. Now, this boat also is riding perfectly. Keep in mind, this is the brand new 36 Cigarette. Clinworth and Martin in the boat. They're enjoying a beautiful ride right now.
Why should the 36-foot Cigarette be an advantage? Oh, look, they're catching second place and blowing right by the HOGGS breath machine.
Oh, what a dramatic display of speed that is. Look at the way the Cigarette is riding compared to the competitor. Look at this, hopping out of the water, spending lots of time in the air when you can't get under power, you can't keep the props in the water. The Cigarette just simply is running away from them. Look at the gap they're pulling out.
The third place boat now, the one they just passed, the HOGGS breath boat, is a 33-foot Scarab. What's the advantage for the 36-foot Cigarette?
Well, part of it, too, is just bridging the waves. You're just keeping the boat riding a little bit smoother.
The Factory 1 series in action yesterday. Let's take a look at the highlights. A full field of 15 boats came screaming to the green flag, but there was trouble early for many of the field as they got off course. This course here in Sarasota is so long that navigating it became one of the tougher portions of winning the event. After a yellow to sort things out, plenty of good racing up front with a three-way battle. F-190, the PropcoPropellers.com machine, the 86 Purple Haze entry, and the 27 MCS Activator boat really heating up the action. In the end, however, MCS with BJ Maher and Mark Schnoff behind the controls proved too tough, taking their second straight win and moved into second place in the series points behind Purple Haze. Let's get back to the action here today where a great battle is brewing in Factory 2. The boat on the right is your race leader. That's the Utz Pier 57. But, Bill, it's the one on the left. Team Virgin, the Cigarette, is taking the lead.
They have just come blistering through this field. I don't know if they used the early laps of this race just as a break-in period for this brand new boat, but they are ready to rock and roll now. They're just flying.
And they're already getting into the Supercat light field. So Team Virgin and that brand new Cigarette takes over the lead. In Supercat light inboard, Team TELLIUM still out front. Heon and Kylie looking for their second win of the year.
This 36-foot skater, I think, has really set the class of the field this year. We've seen him very consistent, very fast, well-mannered boat. Can't ask for much more.
Now you can see in the background, Bill, the color of the sky is changing, getting dark. Weather on the horizon.
Yeah, and that is something that I think is going to worry everybody because visibility will go to zero when these racers run into that squall.
There you can see the squall just making its way across this race course. Some of the boats of the spectators already getting swallowed up. On board here now with Todd Warner and Michael Andersen. into FLOWMASTER boat, and you can see the difficulty they've got in seeing.
Damn it. I can't see shit. Yes. Oh, we got some big wind.
Oh, you know, the only good thing about that water coming on there is it might wash a bit of the salt spray off. All of the other things are negative. Look at the visibility. This is unbelievable.
I don't know which way I'm going, man. Look at your numbers. There you go. Now you're going back offshore.
The numbers they're talking about are on the GPS. Yeah. They're trying to get a direction from onboard GPS.
That, of course, is their navigation system.
Okay, keep going. Okay, you need to go left, I think. I don't know what this HOGGS breath is following us. Yeah, and you got a boat right here off your right. You see him? Yeah.
Just incredible. Visibility so poor. They have to be so careful, and yet they don't want to back off too much.
Look at Virgin, though. You can see the storm in the background. And Virgin has found clean water and is just screaming across the shoreline here in Sarasota.
That is almost an ad for cigarette right there. Just the bright boat coming out of the darkness of the storm. Their lead is completely unchallenged right now. This boat has just shot to the lead and is really in a commanding performance right now.
Bill, you've raced in rain before. What can those guys do when they go through those squalls?
A lot of it is prey. I mean, you'd love to be able to come in and make a pit stop and give it over to somebody else. You just drive by experience, be as careful as possible.
A lot of seat of the pants going on, and right now, this pair of pants is flying. Stay with us. We're coming back to Sarasota. Welcome back to the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix, the APBA Baja Pro Series, racing today in Sarasota, Florida. Here is your race leader in the Cigarette Factory 2 division. It is a cigarette boat, the brand new one. And running in second is the yellow boat, just out in front here, the Utz Pier 57 machine.
A long way back to the cigarette boat has just been so dominant. It is really amazing. And how gratifying is that to unveil a brand new boat and have it working this well? Tremendously satisfying.
And a new third place boat. This developed because of the weather. Brian Ross and Wilma Ross able to move their Snap-on AC Delco boat into third. And in Super Cat Light, well, this one's been a runaway. Team TELLIUM, Bill, looking for their second win in a row.
They continue to make this look almost easy as they're heading over to the finish line here. Look at how perfectly this boat runs.
Team TELLIUM well on their way and about to claim their second win in a row. Took the checkered flag in Corpus Christi just a few weeks back and gonna claim the win here today in Sarasota as well. Back to Factory 2. Team Virgin having fun. That's how smooth their day has been.
Yeah, do you not think they're smiling underneath those helmets right now? What a great looking boat this is.
Bill, do you think it has anything to do with driver Todd Clinford's magic sandals that he wears?
I'm sure it does. Coming from the Virgin Islands, he claims he doesn't need footwear. Today, he can just scrub his toes on the smooth floor of that boat.
All they need is a little bit more room on the mantle for another big trophy. Welcome back to Sarasota. You know, there are plenty of great things you can do with your high-performance boat outside of just racing it, like the Lanier Harbor Marina Poker Run.
It's the world's largest poker run. We'll have over 300 boats entered, close to 2,000 participants. Grand prize for 5 of a kind is a $250,000 prize package, including a 353 Formula Fast Tech and a Prestige trailer from Prestige Trailers. Our poker run's different than most in that we have the boats leave in 30-second intervals, so they're not all running up the lake at the same time. Each class has its own course. Each course has a perfect time, and as the boats finish, their times are fed into a computer, and they're all ranked according to their class, and the boat that comes closest to the perfect time for its course wins prizes and trophies. The 5 of a kind, as they get to each checkpoint, they draw a card, and the best 5 card hand wins the $5 grand cash. If they should get 5 of a kind, they'll win the Formula Fast Tech. Each checkpoint is a complete deck of cards every time, so you're drawing from 52 cards.
The event will take place on Lake Lanier in Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. And for more information, you can check pokerrun.com. And the boats are getting put into the water. Zenetics going in. This is a boat that's been dominant all year. Bruce Kruglich and the gang at Muscle, their #1 nemesis.
Big day today, man. Big day.
And the Super Cats, the big boats, and one of the most beautiful DRIVER-DRAMBUIE on ice.
The paint jobs on these boats, that's probably worth more than my whole boat.
That's the Daytona winner. There's Don Q. Rum. And owner and throttle man Felix Sorales suiting up out of Puerto Rico.
This gives you an idea just how rough it can be. Look at the knee pads they're strapping on there. They take a pounding, and you want to protect yourself. Try and keep injuries at a minimum.
And the Spirit of Puerto Rico back racing with us today.
Yeah, good to see them back, and there is WHM, the winner from Corpus Christi. Remember how dominant this boat was? They just flat ran away.
Getting mentally prepared for one of these events is not an easy task, and we spoke to some of the competitors about how they do it.
Our mental preparation this week's been very intense. Felix and I have done a lot of testing this week. There's been a lot of changes made to the boat, and we have a gun-ho attitude this week, and something we need because we're really not used to running in the back like we did in Texas, and we're kind of over that. So look for us to be out front.
A race like this, we're going to have to go. I don't think there's going to be any holding back. We hold back, I think we're going to be outside the lead. To win this race, you're going to have to go hard from the beginning and go hard the entire race.
Me and Barry are pretty relaxed, and we don't let the hype build up and bother us. We've both crashed. Barry's been over 4 times. I've been over twice. So that doesn't really bother us. We know what to expect on the other side. We try not to ever get there again. But, you know, stuff happens out there on the race course.
You know, it takes an awful lot. My guys were here till 2 in the morning, you know, last night, and we're just working every day. We're working real hard. For us, you know, we stepped up to Supercat, and with what APBA Offshore is doing, building Supercat, building the series, this is really competitive, and we're working real hard. We used to win a lot, and we haven't won for a while, so it's we're working hard to get back into the winner's circle.
Getting into the winner's circle here today isn't going to be any easier as the boats are making their way out to the milling area. Stay tuned. The Suncoast Grand Prix coming up. Quite a history both on and off the water. In fact, all the proceeds from the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix go to charity. For more, here's race chairman Kevin Brown.
Over the past 17 years, we've been able to construct $5.5 million worth of facilities that touch over 4,000 mentally, physically challenged children and adults in Sarasota County. We started out with a 2-day event 17 years ago, and we have grown to a 10-day event that requires nearly 1,500 volunteers to make it happen. Presently, we are undertaking a large South County goal to build a new gymnasium for the Boys and Girls Club. This will be located on our South County campus, which already houses a Child Development Center and the United States' first training facility for Special Olympics. All this is on the one campus and will be shared by both Boys Club, Girls Club, Special Olympics, and Child Development Center.
Not only is this a tremendous event, Bill, but a tremendous job by the organizers to turn it into something really positive for the community.
I think that is just, it is so special, and I think it's really shown by the participation that takes place. Everybody loves this.
And so do the racers as they're making their way out to the milling area. Here's a look at the winners from Saturday's competition out here in all the different outlaw classes that we're racing. And congratulations to all of them on a fine job here this weekend in Sarasota. All right, let's go racing. Here's a look at the Supercat lineup. This one brought to you by the folks at Baja. All the big names are here, including the Spirit of Puerto Rico. Glad to see them with us.
It is so exciting right now. Everybody has been waiting for these because these are the big dogs, 38 to 40 feet long, twin 495 to 510 cubic inch motors. Imagine 1,600 horsepower. That's what these weapons have. Unbelievable boats.
All right, let's go on board for the start.
3, 2, 1, green flag, green flag, green flag.
And we're off and racing in the Corpus Christi winner, WHM, right there in the front of your screen.
And listen to the scream of those motors. Look how the speed on these boats is building up.
At the top of the screen, Don Q. Rum trying to make a move, the big blue boat, but WHM looks strong here today. Wow, flying that nose. Now we go on board Tommy Bahama, the Volvo Penta onboard camera with the Nemschoffs.
And this is threading the needle at over 100 miles an hour. Just trying to come up here. You see Team Virgin right at the bottom of the screen, running out front. Still, oh boy, carrying a lot of air there. Look how many boats are getting side by side. They really gave themselves a thrill. They backed off the throttle for a moment, and Don Q has rocketed past.
Now we're on board with Jamin Jones and Harold Stepp.
Look how close they are.
Oh, he had it back under the throttle.
Completely out once again, blind. He couldn't see a thing. Here's a view out the back, and just watch behind. Look at the amount of spray gets thrown up. That's the kind of water you don't want to get in because you lose all vision.
That was on board with Drambuie on ice, and look at the very top of your screen, WHM. Oh, Don Q almost crashed. Look at the blue boat.
And watch the air. Look at this. Look at the height. Wow, right on one side. The boat came so close to flipping over right there.
And earlier, Team Virgin almost submarined it.
Boy, oh boy, these guys are flying high today. Thankfully, they are trimmed beautifully. They're landing well, but that's the sort of thing that jumpstarts your heart.
And WHM at the top of the screen coming back on course. They had drifted off just before all that action took place.
Well, we saw earlier in some of the smaller races that boats were getting lost because this course is so long.
Well, if that's not enough action for you, the Lucas Oil Super Vs are coming up next. They're making their way out of the milling area, and Muscle and Zenetics have been putting on a great battle all year.
Man, it's, you know, it's nothing any greater than having some really good competition. At the end of the day, you gave it everything you had, and you look back on it, and if you win or if you lose, you know, you still felt like you didn't leave anything out there. You gave it your all, and we were fortunate enough to come away with the win. Those guys ran us really hard.
Well, we've had some very tough races, very tight racing the last couple. We've spent an entire day prop testing, ran 5 new sets of props, and we think we're dialed in. This is our home course in Sarasota, and this home country for us.
The competition is spectacular for these V-bottoms, 38 to 40 feet long, a pair of 495 to 510 cubic inch motors. There are no superchargers. That is the big change. But don't think that makes these boats run any slower.
Green flag, green flag, green flag.
Pier 57 jumping out to the early lead. But don't count out Zenetics and Muscle. I'm sure they're not far behind.
No, we have seen them battle all year long. Now we're going to get an idea. Right coming into our picture there, you see them already engaged in their battle. They just can't wait to get back at it.
The yellow boat is Muscle, and the white boat just on the outside of it is the Zenetics boat. There's Zenetics. So those three are off and racing. Now we go back to the Super Cats and Drambuie on ice. The multicolored boat battling alongside of Spirit of Puerto Rico.
This is the battle for the lead, and look at how close it is. Now, you're at boat number 2 at this point. Do you think he wants to follow behind and get in that spray? Not a chance. Get the throttles down.
Russell Wilkin and Jose Pepayama, the two behind the controls of the Spirit of Puerto Rico. They're your leaders when we come back to Sarasota. The folks on the APBA Baja Pro Series know how to live the good life. They have a lot of fun, but more importantly, they know how to do it all for charity. This was the American Express Party, a big casino night here in Sarasota. And once again, all the proceeds went to charity. What a great time, Bill.
It's something that's so wonderful. They get a chance to play and lose a lot of the tension that builds up, and they get ready for the serious nature of racing.
And if they play like you, they lose a lot of money, too.
They definitely would in my case.
What a great time had by all, and some of the highlights of the APBA Tour. Back to the Super Vs. Zenetics and Muscle leading in the Lucas Oil Super V class.
And these boats have been going at it all year long. It seems that that is one gamble that is not too far off base, because you know they're always going to be up there for the lead.
The biggest difference, though, Bill, is the distance between the two. We haven't seen them this far apart most of the season.
And I think it's got to be a little disturbing right now. We heard them earlier talk about the amount of testing they had done. They'd gone through 5 different prop changes, searching for that setup, the ultimate setup. Obviously, with changing conditions, they don't have it yet.
Don't forget that big storm might have messed up the guess on the props for Muscle. Back to the Baja Super Cats, where Spirit of Puerto Rico continues to lead, but now it's a 4-boat battle for the lead.
Tommy Bahama is coming up here, and they are charging. They want to get right in the middle, literally right in the middle of this. Look at this now. He's pulling up, going by into 3rd place.
Here come the Nemschoffs.
Boy, got over on an angle right there, just hit a little bit of the wake. Here is what it looked like. Just watch as he hits these wakes. The boat gets tilted up. Oh, man, dancing back and forth from each hull.
Boy, they're not afraid to get on the gas, though. They've moved past the Drambuie and ice boat, and that big 40-foot MTI is up to 3rd. On board the Drambuie on ice, the Volvo Penta onboard camera. Hugh Fuller working the steering wheel, and John Tomlinson, the man on your left, has the throttles.
Yeah, John Tomlinson, one of the more experienced throttlemen in this business, and he knows what he is doing. But look, they're scattered all over the place, and look at them all flying.
Pier 57 now moves into the lead.
Wow, David Woods, Art Lilly have just come up to say, I want a piece of this fun, guys.
Now, we talked about how good John Tomlinson is behind the throttles, but Art Lilly is by far one of the best. The Nemschoffs, father Mark, son Paul, giving chase. One of the best runs we've seen out of Tommy Bahama this season.
Every time I watch that spray come across the windshield, that just makes me nervous. You think you're going well above 100 miles an hour, driving into a virtual water cascade. You are blind for a period of time.
We've been having a great battle here in Sarasota, Florida with the APBA Offshore Series. Zenetics, the white number 46, is the leader in the Lucas Oil Super Vs.
Boy, he looks like he's got a couple of JATO packs strapped to the back of that boat, and it's performing as if he's got them as well. There is the competition right there, the muscle boat, just a fraction behind, but for them, a frustrating fraction.
Kruglich and Branch have been doing everything they can to catch Zenetics, but today, Zenetics seems to be the dominant boat. But there's a good battle going on behind these two, and that's the fight for third. And the Scarab, the Conseco boat, is holding down the position in its best run of the year over Pier 57.
Yes, Archer and Hook have finally got this big 43-foot Scarab running hot.
Well, one of our highlights of our trip here to Sarasota was a chance to visit Wellcraft Boats, one of the biggest, most historic names in boat making, competing with the Wellcraft Scarab. We saw design facilities, even mold making, all the way from the beginning of the process to the finished product. So how important is participating in the Suncoast Grand Prix to the folks at Wellcraft?
This Suncoast offshore racing event gives us an opportunity to have a factory boat out there and be involved in the community and what the whole event means for the greater Sarasota area. This is one of our largest events for the area, and being in our backyard, this is a very great opportunity for us as a company to give something back.
It's also a great opportunity for them to be with Nigel Hook. This is a championship caliber racer, this man. He is with this big 43-foot Scarab. He loves being a winner, and he's always headed towards the front.
In the Super V Light Pro Series, which ran earlier today, this boat, Extreme Stainless Marine, with Bill McComb and Rick Termel, ended up taking the win with some unique strategy.
We had another boat that was real close to us, and we figured we'd let him lead the last couple laps and see if he went off course, and he did, so we just took off. Cat and mouse game, and we can catch him on the back straight away, so we figured we'd wait and see, and they goofed, so it made it a little easier.
Hey, get those wins any way you can. Back to the Volvo Pinta onboard camera with the Nemschoffs as they're back to Super Cats.
Yeah, you know, I wonder how much intimidation goes through the mind of these guys. You just see him skirting past that marker out there, flying across the waves. Now, the boat up ahead is well aware of where the Nemschoffs are, but they can judge their own speed and their own course based on where Pier 57 is.
Pier 57 is the leader of the Super Cat division right now. This boat a 42-foot MTI, but maybe not for long.
Boy, I'm sorry, Ralph. I almost stepped on you there. Look at this Tommy Bahama boat starting to move now. They're taking a tighter inside line, and watch this. Powering into clean water.
Much tighter inside line. Look at the difference, and you got to see Pier 57 with big problem.
I wonder if they've just lost a drive or something. It looks like the steering just gave up totally. They are a DNF, and they're pulling off the course, staying out of the way of other boats.
That team has had nothing but mechanical difficulties all year long. What a shame. Tommy Bahama, maybe the Nemschoffs on their way to their first victory of the 2001 season.
Well, textbook riding right now. Look how nicely this boat is riding across here. The propellers staying cleanly in the water, a lot of the hull coming out of the water, but those all-important drives are staying tucked into the water, so they're not having to back off the throttles at this point.
Well, the old saying of Tommy Bahama is that life is one long weekend, and I'm sure these two are feeling like it's a pretty sunny day right now. Bill, you can see the waters. Oh, and there's problem on the inside of the race course as well. Cat can do.
Well, I guess the good news is that this boat didn't flip. We heard them talk about earlier that both driver and throttleman had suffered a number of rollovers. At least they're flat side up and just mechanical problems to frustrate their day.
Well, speaking of frustrating, Jamin Jones and Harold Stepp struggling a little bit with Team YAHOO this afternoon. There goes WHM blasting by on the outside to their left. boat not running well, Bill.
Yeah, something. Listen to the sound. It's dead. He's got a big problem.
You can see the nose of the boat came way down, and everything is slowing down.
Yeah, he's looking around just to make sure that it's safe enough to turn off course. There he is getting the boat out of the way, but he checked the mirror to make sure that it was clear to go across the course and get off there.
Todd Glenworth and Trey Martin already have one win today, and right now they're battling with the Don Q Rum boat, the blue boat, here in the Super Cat division. This is a fight for fourth right now.
These boats, they look so good out here, running around here. Just a giant crowd. We've got a spectator fleet estimated at 2,000 boats out here watching. Amazing.
Some 12,000 people on board those boats lining the race course. Don Q to the inside, taking the position away from Team Virgin and moving into fourth place. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back with more great racing action from the APBA Offshore. Welcome back to Sarasota, Florida. Ralph Shaheen along with Bill Adam. Glad to have you with us with the APBA Offshore in action from beautiful Sarasota, Florida. And what great racing we've had here in the Baja Superclat division. The Nemschoffs, Father Mark and son Paul, have been having a great run in the Tommy Bahama boat up front. They've been fast all year, but just have not been able to find their way to victory lane.
For us, you know, we stepped up to Super Cat with what APBA Offshore is doing, building Super Cat, building the series. This is really competitive, and we're working real hard. We used to win a lot, and we haven't won for a while, so it's we're working hard to get back into the winner.
Baja, speed changes you. By Lucas Oil Products, the official lubricant of the American Powerboat Association Offshore Pro Series. And by Liberty Coach, the official motor coach provider of the APBA Offshore Baja Pro Series. Here's a look at the Lucas Oil Super V results, where Zenetics has won their third in a row, taking the victory here today in Sarasota, Florida. Let's go down to the Lucas Oil Winner's Circle. Here's Bill with Jeff Harris.
I knew it was a good boat. I knew at the beginning of the year, Dave Branch and Bruce Krugel are real hard racers, and I knew we were going to have work cut out for us. They make it so it's not a runaway. They push hard, and my hat's off to them. They run a good race. We're fortunate to come away with the win.
Now, everybody talks about the water here being smooth, but we didn't find much smooth water out there today. Was that a surprise?
Everybody that says Sarasota is smooth doesn't race here every year. I can tell you that right now. This place is always unique. You have a lot of turns. You have a lot of acceleration. Picking the propeller is vitally important. Your balance on your boat's important. One of the two major factors that we do. Fortunately today we picked the right propeller, I think, and you know, we came away with a good win. We're very happy.
And here comes Drambouie on ice into the Lucas Oil Winner's Circle area. They were the winners in the Baja Super Cat division over Don Q Rum. Team Virgin, Spirit of Puerto Rico coming home with a top 5. Back to the Winner's Circle.
We didn't expect it. You know, calmed down a little bit, then it got rough again, then calmed down. So we were fast in some areas, slow in some other. We were very lucky. The stern drive boats, you know, they definitely had an advantage. They ran off and left us, but fortunately both of them broke. But we were very lucky, and Drambouie, they've done an excellent job giving us whatever we need to go win. Lake Cumberland and Garry, Montana, and we can't thank them enough. They're great sponsors, and we're just happy to win for them.
Well, you guys have certainly got a good handle on the point lead now, but the Don Q guys finished second, so you didn't pull out much on them.
No, we didn't. And first and foremost, I got to thank my Lord for this. Boy, he just was blessing us today and kept a good, safe race course for everybody, all the competitors. And we're thankful. It was a great race. Don Q squeaked in a second, and boy, we saw him back there at 4th or 5th at one time, and I was hoping somehow maybe them guys could hold him off. But there's some good teams out there. There's a lot of good teams. Anybody could have won that race today, and today it worked out great for us, and we're real thankful for it.
Well, Johnny, we head north next. What do you expect up there?
That's one race venue I haven't been to. Looking forward to Cleveland. I hear it can be a monster up there. I hear it can be calm. Boat's running good, everything's doing well, so we'll take whatever they give us, and we're really looking forward to it.
Well, in the battle for the national championship in the Kinetics Cup Super Cat standings, Drambouie on ice with a 24-point lead over Don Q Rum. And we can expect that battle to go on all season long. For the first time this year, they handed out the Jack Carmody Cup. This award goes to the winning Super Cat driver at each event, and it will also go to the winning championship driver in the Super Cat division. Of course, Hugh Fuller, the winner here today in Drambuie on ice. For more results and point standings, or if you have a question for us, log on to www.apbaoffshore.com. Make sure you tune in September 12th at 10 p.m. Eastern for our next APBA Offshore Baja Pro Series event from Cleveland, Ohio. It will be the series' first trip to the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so don't miss the great action. For more information, log on to SpeedVision.com. This has been a presentation of APBA Offshore Television in association with SpeedVision. For Bill Adam, I'm Ralph Sheen. We'll see you next from Cleveland.